Hi everyone, I just got home and I am going to whip up a pork chop meal, so I thought I would come live and tell you what we're doing. So we're starting off with a sweet potato. Here I am going to slice this into cubes, maybe about like 1-inch thick cubes. I'm using our Santoku knife. This is part of the professional line of knives that have lifetime warranty on them. And there are some that are still available. There is the Foundry knife block set, or there are individual knives as well that you can purchase. So I'm just going to finish chopping the sweet potato up. It says 2 sweet potatoes, but I bought one ginormous one for this recipe. And then I'm going to use our herb grinder, and I'm going to grind up some fresh rosemary, and I'm going to toss the potatoes with rosemary, salt, and pepper. Then I'm going to use the apple wedger, and I'm going to wedge the apples, 2 apples, and we're going to add that to the sheet pan, and we're going to cook that with the pork chops for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to take it out of the oven, and I'm going to put some, they said apple butter, or I chopped up some apples with some cinnamon and ginger and nutmeg, etc. So let's start with some salt and pepper. Let me get a little tossing spoon here and a little oil. To help the salt and pepper stick. Finish this one up. Now our salt and pepper, the electric salt and pepper grinder comes with our roasting pan. It is not available separately currently, so if you don't have that, you can use our hand crank one, which looks similar, but you know, it's just old-fashioned, not one-handed. My husband prefers these. I prefer the one-handed one because often my hands are filthy when I am cooking. And we're going to toss this a little bit. And then I'm going to take the herb grinder, and the herb grinder has a little, I call it a pool ball. There's a heavy duty ball in the center. Let me find it. So this is like the weight of a pool ball, and it goes into the cap part, and then you're going to put your herbs into the grinder part and take the bottom off. And you can see here that when you spin the grinder, it will chiffonade like your basil or oregano or whatever herb you have. Let me just do a little quick wash and dry. I have my oven set to 425 degrees, and then we're just going to go ahead and strip the herbs. This came from a plant that we have been nurturing since the summer, so it's a little lanky, so I grabbed a couple of sprigs of it. It smells great though. Nothing better than fresh herbs. That's the one thing I can recommend to you guys. If you guys are trying to eat fresh and healthy, and you really want to create dishes that have that, you know, umami flavor that really just tastes so great, fresh herbs are a must. The fresher your ingredients, the better. When you're using jarred garlic or canned or dried herbs, you're not getting quite the punch that you're going to get from fresh, and that will make the difference in a pan, in a dish that you're making, whether it tastes like it's been restaurant quality, or you know, whether it just doesn't have that zip to it. So we're just going to go ahead and put this in here. I think this is probably enough for now. I'm going to add a little bit to my apple butter before I finish the pork chops. So again, we're going to salt and pepper the pork chops. You can also put, we have a Dijon mustard rub, or we used to, that was phenomenal. And I use that a lot on pork as well. So just put this on. You hit the ball so that it pushes it down into the grinder. There we go. So there we go. Grind it all in there. Now we're going to take a garlic clove. We're going to stick it with the skin on into the hopper. We're going to turn around. We're going to crush it. Then we're going to use the, I call it the Barbie hairbrush. It's the garlic cleaner. So it scrapes the garlic off, and then the garlic, as you see, the skin just came out on the hopper, and you can just flick it into the trash like that, and you don't have to touch the garlic itself, so you never smell like garlic. And there's a spot right here on the bottom that is perfect for holding it, and that also cleans the holes of the garlic press. So I'm just going to toss this in here. I might add just a tiny bit more oil, just because the other one, there we go, the other one was almost gone, so it was a little on the leg side. Oops. And then we're going to use a I'm using the Brilliance sheet pan. We have a half-size sheet pan, we have metal sheet pans, whatever you want to use. The Brilliance, I find, is super easy to clean, so I'm going to use that. We're going to spread that out. We're going to take our apples, and we're going to take our apple wedger. I'm going to go ahead and just wedge our apples, and just stick our wedges on the pan as well. And again, as I said, we're going to put our pork chops on, our apples, our sweet potatoes, and we're going to bake it 10 minutes. Then we're going to take it out of the oven, and we're going to add the apple butter to it, and then we're going to stick it back into the oven for another 10 minutes, and then we'll be all set. So let me show you what it's going to look like here in a second. Hello. Welcome. So dinner will be ready in 40 minutes, or 25 minutes maybe. I'm running a little late today. Somebody likes those. That, and I'm tired. Okay, so let's get the pork chops out, and we're going to use a little salt and pepper. This is why I like the one-handed salt and pepper grinder. I can just use one glove, and I can grind salt and pepper on my pork chops, and then I'll make room in here for them. Dinner will be done. Now, I love, this is Whole30 compliant, because I'm not, the apple butter that I'm using, or the applesauce that I'm using, does not have any sugar in it. So it is compliant for our current dietary, for the month that we're doing. But you can adjust however you would like. I'm going to get these on here. Get some place. And then we will, oh good, Chris is going to cut up some green beans to go with that. We can either saute those, or we can roast them as well in the oven. It doesn't matter. I love using gloves here because I can't stand like chicken cooties or pork cooties. I just cannot stand the feel of raw meat. I know I can just wash my hands, but I just don't like that feel. Okay. This one has a little bit of a bone in. Salt and pepper. And again, 425, start with 10 minutes, and then stir the potatoes and apples, and then put the apple butter on it, and you're good to go. All right. There we go.
Y'all said.
I am. All right. Here we go. So I'll be back. I'll show you a picture of the finished product. Thanks for watching The Reluctant Chef. I hope you guys have some great recipes. And if you would like this recipe or any of the others, just text me or message me on my Facebook page or my YouTube, or 850-244-8710, and I'll get you these recipes. Thanks again.